Welcome into the Stinkin Truth Podcast alongside Mike Evans. I am Mark Schlereth. Thank you so much for making us a part of your weekend. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Thank you so much for being a part of our show. Mike, how are you, buddy?
I'm great. And a lot of times, sometimes, when we're force-fed the Lions and the Cowboys, every Thanksgiving, it gets a little bit like, these games aren't that great. But we're really looking forward to these game. So let's jump right into it. Let's start with Detroit and Green Bay, and a position that I don't think a lot of us expected to see Detroit. Is this a must-win for Detroit, who is out of the playoffs right now?
You know what is crazy? I mean, if you look at the NFC North right now, and you've got Chicago leading the division, I don't think anybody believes Chicago's going to hold on. Does anybody believe, if you're outside of Chicago, does anybody truly believe Chicago at the end of this thing will be in first place in the NFC North?
The answer is no.
The answer is absolutely not, right? I mean, I think that even though they're in first place right now, everybody believes they're going to fall to third place. Doesn't it feel that way? Do you think they'll hold on to a playoff spot? Because you look at you look at the way the league is structured right now. The NFC West, there's going to be 2, maybe 3 teams that come out of the NFC West, right? The Rams and Seattle are coming out for sure. San Francisco, maybe. And so, I mean, you're not going to get you're going to get 2 teams probably maybe from each division. I'm just trying to think.
You're going to get one from the South, just the division winner.
Right, one from the South.
And we'll get to Dallas here in a second, but
probably one from the East.
Probably one from the East, yeah.
So that leaves you with
five more teams.
5 more teams.
Yeah.
So that leaves you with 3 from either the West or
the North.
Or the North.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think Chicago. I feel like Chicago will be in third place in that division when it's all said and done. They've got a murderer's row coming up as a schedule. I mean, they've got Philly, and then beyond that, they've got a bunch of tough games coming up. But Detroit, getting back to the original question, Detroit, Green Bay, I just tailed off. I just went crazy there for a second. I apologize. I don't know what came over me. I just, like...
You're not supposed to act sleepy until you gorge on Thanksgiving. Then you can get a little sleepy and forgetful.
Yeah.
This is pre-Thanksgiving.
It's pre-Thanksgiving. I've been locked in. Yeah. I've been, studying the film. I've got Miami, New Orleans this weekend, which doesn't mean anything in the conversation we're having. But getting back to the conversation we're having, yes. Detroit and Green Bay.
Squirrel.
Yeah, listen, at home, Detroit, they're on the outside looking into the playoff situation right now. I think it's 7-4. I gotta believe that they're going to figure it out at home. I gotta believe Thanksgiving Day in Detroit, they're going to win this game.
Did Dan Campbell make a mistake in taking over the play calling? And does he need to give it back?
I don't think he made a mistake. I mean, the first time
they've been inconsistent though.
But they've been inconsistent before he took over play calling.
True.
They were inconsistent. So, I mean, I think that's part and parcel of what they're trying to accomplish right now. And when you take back over the play calling duties, I mean, I think there's going to be some inconsistency with the way you call plays. I think the biggest thing for me is you look at kind of what happened. You can look at what happened. I think the biggest issue is the communication aspect between you and quarterback and being on the same page. And having talked to Jared Goff multiple times calling games when Ben Johnson was the coordinator, they were in lockstep in everything that was called. And I will tell you, as an offensive player, the security and the confidence that comes with knowing what the coach is probably going to call in this situation. Knowing that, hey, man, we get into this red zone situation and there's the potential of 2 or 3 calls coming in. Like, I know before you even call the play what's coming in. And it was always one of the great securities that I think I had in my career playing for both Washington and Denver, but especially in Denver, just knowing in certain situations what our identity was, what we do well, and knowing what play was coming in. And so I think one of the big things, Mike, about this league in general, especially when you play on Thursday, you're playing like opponents. Like Green Bay and Detroit know each other. Dallas and Kansas City don't necessarily know each other. So do you have an identity? Do you have a stable of plays that you can call, that you can hang your hat on, that you know under any circumstance, regardless of the defense that we get, that we can execute these plays, that we can have success doing these things? And I think that becomes very important. And I think Detroit right now, changing play callers, losing Ben Johnson, doing the things that they have done, I think that's the biggest question mark for me, is you don't have necessarily continuity. You don't have necessarily a great connection between you and Dan Campbell. And then on top of that, Dan Campbell's got to operate the rest of the team. He's got to make those decisions on fourth down. He's got to decide what, like all those things. That's going to create some confusion. That's going to create a lack of continuity and connectivity, I think, as a play caller. But still, on the road, Thanksgiving Day in Detroit, that place is going to be crazy. Mm-hmm. I've got to lean toward that home field advantage in two teams that are tightly matched.
For Green Bay, and you always get on me when I talk about the need to have style points when you win a football game. And I know Green Bay, they've been finding ways to win. But at some point, do they have to deliver a little bit more style points at some point in order to believe that this is a team that can go to the NFC championship game and beyond? Do they have to win in a more impressive way?
I think I always think that style points are more for us as fans than they are for the guys inside the locker room. I mean, it's always nice to blow somebody out, right? Because then you get into cruise control in the fourth quarter and you feel pretty good about where you're at and all those kind of things. But I think oftentimes inside the locker room, you know how tough it is to win football games. You know how competitive this league is. You know how good the talent is across the board in every team. And so, like, sometimes when you're playing a divisional opponent that matches up with you and matches well with you and has great talent, just getting out of there alive, like walking out with a 3-point victory at the end of the game where your kicker drills one, man, that's a great feeling. And if you can do that, if you're Green Bay and you can come out of this game with a victory, even if it's 1 point, man, it makes you feel pretty good about your chances come playoff time.
Second game, we got Dallas and Kansas City, and there's already talk, Mark, that the anticipation is that this could be the most watched NFL regular season game ever because of Kansas City and Dallas. I think I speak for all of America outside of Chiefs Kingdom that they haven't lived up to this billing. They haven't lived up to this description, this name for decades now. But I think absolutely on Thanksgiving Day, America wants Dallas to be America's team.
I agree with you. I like if you're a Kansas City fan, I get it. Like you're diehard Kansas City, and I don't hate you for it. I understand it. Mm-hmm. I hate Dallas. I've never liked Dallas. But man, I'm rooting hard for Dallas. They are America's team when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs, because I think Kansas City Chiefs, in all likelihood, probably taken over that moniker. Even though it's not given to them,
yes,
they've probably become America's quote-unquote team. But, the one thing we love to do is put a team on a pedestal, and we put that team on a pedestal or people on pedestals. But the thing we like more than putting them on that pedestal is knocking them off that pedestal, right? And we're tired of the Chiefs. We're tired of the perceived favorable calls they get. We're tired of Patrick Mahomes being the greatest ever. We're tired of Travis Kelce, and we're tired of Taylor Swift, and we're tired of all it being shoved down our throats, and we're tired of Kansas City Chiefs going to, what 7 straight AFC championship games? Do you know, get this, now if they lose this game, they're going to be 6-6, and they're probably going to have to win out or close to it. Probably, 4 of the 5 games they're going to have to win to get in, do you think?
You're going to have to be, in the AFC and the NFC, I think in order to be a wild card team, minimum of 10 wins. And honestly,
and they've got
it might need to be 11.
They might need to be 11 simply because they're losing tiebreakers to just about all the other prominent teams that are in the AFC playoffs. So this is where we sit with Kansas City right now, and it's fascinating to me. Like the latest that they have been, or the earliest, let me rephrase that. The earliest that they have been bounced in a season is in overtime in the AFC Championship game. Their season has ended in the last 7 years twice in overtime in the AFC Championship game. That's the earliest they've been bounced in a season over the last 7 years. Do you know how phenomenal that is? Do you know how crazy that is? I got that from doing the Rich Eisen show yesterday. He told me that yesterday.
Yeah.
So, Rich Eisen, kudos to you guys and your research team over there. That's insanity. I mean, that is absolutely insanity to me. And so I think we're all, as football fans, tired of how good they've been.
So to me, this is the biggest question about this matchup. You pretty much know that Kansas City's going to show up. You know what you're going to get from the Chiefs.
Sure.
By and large, right? I think for me, the $1 million question is Dallas. You know, coming off that big come-from-behind win against Philadelphia, how legitimate is their momentum? Are they going to be able to handle the situation? A situation where it's all laid out in front of them, where if they can go in the span of 5 days beating both teams that played in the Super Bowl a year ago, what a lift for a team trying to make that final run. Can they take advantage of the moment?
Well, this takes me back to my meandering at the beginning of the show, is when I talk about identity, I think they have one. Like, they have two really big-time wide receivers. They have a tight end that can run the middle of the football field. Dak Prescott's playing at an extremely high level. And they'll run the ball with Javonte Williams. So I look at them as, like, having some favorable matchups on that side of the ball. And their defense, you look at the beginning of that Philadelphia game, they gave up some big plays, which they often do. But they cleaned that up. They quit giving up the big plays. They made some big plays, and they came back from 21-0 down, 24 unanswered points to win that football game. Like, if you look at that formula and say, man, if alls we do on defense, guys, keep the ball in front of us, don't give up the big plays over the top, okay? If that's all we do, and then just tackle well. If we tackle well and don't give up the big play over the top, if that's the only thing we do well this weekend, our offense is good enough to hang 24 in essentially a half and win a football game. Like, I would like my chance. Personally, I feel like the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this game against the Chiefs at home because I think they have the identity. And I think if you look at them, if they just do what I said on the defensive side of the ball, which they did for 2.5 quarters last week to shut out the Philadelphia Eagles after scoring 21 points, I believe. And by the way, man, they made some special teams plays. Like, that was one of those momentum things where I think inside a locker room, you get some momentum going, you get some believability going, you start to believe in yourself, in your coaching staff, some of the moves you made this offseason that we made fun of. All of a sudden, that Pickens move looks sharp. All of a sudden, that Micah Parsons trade, you're looking at your defensive line right now going, damn, our defensive line is pretty good. Mm-hmm. That trade they made for Quinnen Williams, man, you know what? We're shutting down the run. Like, all those things, they're starting to believe to be some believability inside the organization, inside that locker room. I like Dallas in this game.
I don't trust him. Just don't. Hey, go prove it. Prove me wrong. Prove a lot of people, because I think a lot of people are very skeptical about Dallas's ability.
I don't even know you anymore.
Well,
what, you're now you're rooting for the Chiefs? No. Now you're a Mahomes fan? That's what it is. Oh,
is that how you spin it?
Right. Now all of a sudden you're going to get in your truck and leave here with Taylor Swift playing. If I walk outside and I hear Taylor Swift's song coming from your that's it.
Yeah.
It's done. But
it's done.
You and I,
we're done.
We end the podcast. We end it.
Baltimore and Cincinnati. We get the return of Joe Burrow.
Yeah, for about a quarter and a half before he gets hurt. No, I'm sorry. I don't mean that. I don't want Joe Burrow. I want Joe Burrow. I love Joe Burrow, man.
Yeah.
I love watching Joe Burrow play. Phenomenal. If I'm Cincinnati, I don't know why I'm playing Joe Burrow. I mean, can you push back and win that division?
No.
Seriously though, if you win out, can you come back and win that division?
If you win out?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just
maybe there's enough teams are knocking each other off ahead of you.
Let me just you think about right now, and I don't have the schedules in front of me, but Baltimore's leading that division at 6-5, has a tiebreaker over the Steelers at 6-5. Cincinnati's sitting at 3-8.
So Cincinnati would need to go, if they win out, that gets them to 9-8. So is 9-8 with tiebreakers good enough to win that division?
I don't think it is, but that's
okay. Then the biggest question then for me in this game is Baltimore. What does Baltimore need to do to convince you that this is the Ravens team that we're accustomed to seeing, that doesn't look like that this year?
I think they're starting to get healthy on the defensive side of the ball. I think they're playing better on that side of the ball. Okay. And, right now Lamar has not been Lamar. I think the hamstring, obviously he's healthy enough to play, but he doesn't look like the same dynamic athlete that he's looked like in the past. As that continues week in and week out, not to hamper him, he continues to get better week in and week out, and that offense becomes more dynamic. That run game, that threat of quarterback run, that threat of RPO, that threat of, putting your quarterback on the edge and creating big plays in the passing game, as that continues to enhance and grow, I look at this, I said it 3-4 weeks ago. I said, I think Baltimore's going to come back and win that division. I still believe that that's what's going to happen. My only thought with Cincinnati is his last-ditch effort. If we can win out with Joe Burrow, maybe, just maybe we got a chance. Or maybe, the head coach is trying to save his job. Maybe that's the thought process behind playing Joe Burrow. Maybe Joe Burrow is just demanding that he plays. Football players want to play football, and Joe is a competitor. He's a great player. He's a phenomenal quarterback. I don't think they're going to have a chance to win that division. I think there's more potential downside than there is upside to Joe Burrow coming back.
Yep.
But I do appreciate the fact that he wants to play.
Yep.
I do appreciate the fact that he is a competitor that way, that he is tough that way. And I tell you what, that's a dude that quarterback my team any day of the week.
But we both like Baltimore in this one.
Like Baltimore,
okay.
Yes.
Friday, Black Friday game, new tradition. We've got Philadelphia coming off that collapse, taking on Chicago, who you've just said you have no belief in to win the NFC North, and I agreed with you as well. But Philadelphia, just when you start to think Philadelphia is starting to look like the defending Super Bowl champs, they cough one up against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So are we back to square one with Philly, or was that just a momentary blip?
I don't think offensively they haven't been good all year. They just haven't had their mojo. They haven't figured their stuff out. And, ultimately, I think at this time of the year, man, this is about making a playoff push and trying to defend your crown. And it doesn't look at all like they're that team. So to me, you got to go back to what got you there in the first place. And I don't care if Jalen Hurts doesn't want to run the ball. I don't care if and I have no idea what he wants or what he doesn't want. But to me, it comes down to we got to run the ball with Saquon. Saquon hasn't had the success he had last year, obviously, running it. Part of that is because I don't think there's been that much of a threat of the quarterback run. So I need half a dozen, maybe 8 or 9 design quarterback runs. I need another 4 or 5 scrambles, on broken down pass plays. I need to get back to what we were so good at last year as an offense. And then when you get that, and we've talked about this, you're going to get one-on-one opportunities on the outside. And that's where the passing game passing game is going to thrive.
So I saw a lot of this week. What's wrong with Saquon Barkley? Is there anything wrong with Saquon Barkley, or is he just being mismanaged, misused?
No. I don't even think it's a misuse standpoint. I think it's everybody is telling you right now when they play the Philadelphia Eagles, we don't think your quarterback can beat us in drop back. So we're going to commit. The one thing you're not going to do is your guy's not going to go for 200 yards against us. Your guy's not going to go for 150 yards against us. Sorry. We're going to commit everybody to stopping it. And, frankly, teams are telling you. You can tell a lot by what a team thinks about you when you start watching film on them. Because they'll just flat out tell you, man, we don't believe your quarterback can beat us. And so we're going to give you the one-on-one opportunities outside. Can you make the throws? We don't think you can.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, that to me is really what every team is saying to you as an organization right now. And so how do you counter that if you're Philadelphia? At some point, you got to say, hey, man, we got to get back to doing what we do well. And this is not about making sure that A.J. Brown's happy, or this is not about, making sure that Jalen Hurts is happy. And I don't know, but, I just kind of assume that you want to grow as an offense. You want to become more prolific at drop back because you know that that's how you ultimately win in this league and keep your quarterback healthy, right? But if you're not good at that, then what do you have to do? You got to be able to threaten the edge. So one of the reasons that threatening the edge in the quarterback run is so helpful for a run team like Philadelphia and Saquon Barkley is because when I put that ball in the belly of the back and I'm a threat to pull it and take off, do you know what happens to that side of the defense? Defensive end holds.
Yep.
Outside linebacker holds. The safety on that side holds. Because they're all checking that quarterback run. And when you're checking that quarterback run, what ends up happening? That cutback lane becomes really, really a big gaping hole because that whole backside of your defense doesn't constrict. It sits. And so you're a half tick late trying to squeeze down to take away the cutback. And if you're a half tick late on Saquon Barkley, then it's out the gate. He's gone for 65, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. And so that's why that part is important. And I don't even know what the numbers are, Mike, and I haven't done a Philly game this year. So I've watched some Philly stuff. I've watched a bunch of highlights. I watched the Dallas game. I just don't see them exploiting teams with the QB designed runs and then the QB pull the ball. Like the zone read is not a designed run. It's a either hand it off or it's a either or, right? I'm talking about quarterback counters. I'm talking about some of the other things. And then you say, hey, man, let's make sure that we pull the ball every time we can and get on the edge with our quarterback. Like that has to be one of those things that, sometimes you do you do the zone read stuff and you really have no intention of the quarterback pulling it. You're just trying to hold it. Well, if nobody's honoring it, you got to pull it, right? You got to pull it. And I think that's one of the things that Philadelphia needs to get back to.
You like Philly, though?
I do like Philly.
Against Chicago. Okay.
I do like Philly.
Big game in the AFC, especially now that Pittsburgh's living that wild card world again.
Yeah.
So you got the Bills, you got the Steelers. Looks like Aaron Rodgers on track to play. Boy, these Steelers, do you just get the sense that it's slipping away, that they're hanging on for dear life? Do they have another gear in them that we maybe saw earlier in the season, or do you just kind of feel like it's starting to crumble?
I just feel like it's over, man.
Over. Not starting to be over. Over.
Well, they're 6-5. They're tied in the division with Baltimore, but Baltimore's just reeled them in over the last 4 weeks. And it just feels to me like I've been a big carry the water. Aaron Rodgers is still
got a lot left in the tank.
Yeah,
all that. Yep.
Still can throw it and all that stuff, but it just looks. You know what it looks? It looks tired.
It's going to happen when you get up over 40 in the NFL.
It just looks
You're going to have those moments.
It just looks tired. And it's interesting, you think back to the things you used to be able to do, and I think back to the end of my career where you could have a game where you just, like, for no rhyme or no reason, you just felt really good. And then you come off that game, you didn't have any significant injuries or whatever, but the next week it just takes everything in your inner being to just get yourself to Sunday. And then even Sunday, even you could still play good football, but even then you still just don't have the same juice in the tank. And it's just age, it's just your body just says, hey, up yours. I ain't doing it. And there's always those times where you can will yourself to do things that you don't necessarily feel like doing or feel like you can do. But man, when your body just starts telling you, like, dude, pound sand, I ain't doing this.
Yeah.
It is. And that's sometimes just what it looks like, and like I said, I did a late game last year where he was playing with the Jets and he was so good, and watching him throw in pregame warmup, it was so good. I mean, it was so good that I was just like, damn.
Yeah.
I think I caught him in one of those moments where, Father Time turned back the hands of the clock.
Mm-hmm.
And he just had one of those out-of-body experiences where he was great and he looked fresh. And that's the image that resonates in my mind. And then I put on the tape this year, and I'm just like, gosh, it looks tired.
Yeah.
The offense looks tired.
Yeah. Yeah. So you like the Bills?
I do like the Bills.
Yeah, I think so too. Texans, Colts. Interesting things happened here over the last week. All it took was one Indianapolis loss to all of a sudden, it seems like nationally changed the narrative when it comes to the Colts and the idea that the Colts are now really vulnerable. Vulnerable to lose the division. Vulnerable to be overtaken by Houston or Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Come on.
The Colts are interesting because they have 2 games left against Houston and 2 games left against Jacksonville in their division. And listen, easier said than done. But if you can take away Jonathan Taylor, if you can take him away, like the Chiefs took him away, or maybe Indianapolis took him away at the end of that Chiefs game. Because he got 1 carry, it was -2, and then he didn't sniff the ball again in the fourth quarter, which to me is ridiculous. But
you've said it a lot. There are a lot of coaches out there that are just looking for that excuse to say, we tried.
Right.
Can't run the football. Guess
and
we're
I think
have to throw it.
I think it's imperative for the Colts
especially
to have balance with Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones has been phenomenal this year. But I think that balance is so important. That play action aspect of their offense is so important to create those opportunities on the offensive side of the ball, right? To create those layered routes with your tight end, your underneath receiver, to create those, flood concepts and all the different things that they do exceptionally well. So I would basically tell you that Houston won 3 AFC South titles in a row, I believe 3 in a row. I am not so sure that they don't chase them down. Oof. That defense is Mike, I just can't get over how good that defense is under DeMeco Ryans, how hard they play, how physical, like the combination of physicality and speed is eye-popping. When you watch it, you're like, whoa. I mean, it's flat out eye-popping. And offensively, they're not.
They have enough. Do they have enough?
They're not great, They'll get C.J. Stroud back. I thought Davis Mills played really good football for them. But they intrigue me, man. They're an intriguing team. I think defensively they'll have a chance to chase down that division. I'll be really interested to see if they can chase down the Colts, but I think they win this weekend.
San Francisco, despite Brock Purdy throwing picks, got enough done to beat Carolina. Now they go on the road to Cleveland. Suddenly this San Francisco-Cleveland game takes on a whole more significant impact and interest. It's Shedeur Sanders making another start. He looked good last week in his debut.
He did.
But it was the Raiders.
Right.
Okay? Now you get a big jump up in competition in San Francisco. You know this San Francisco defense really well, the way that they've been playing. How do you think Shedeur holds up against the Niners at home?
Yeah, I mean Shedeur played really well. I mean he did some great things that I mean they brought zero blitz on him. He gets out, and avoids a free runner at him and makes a dime piece down the left hand numbers and big time completion over the top to get him into a first and goal situation. I thought that was a big time throw. He made some unbelievably layered throws. I think the biggest thing for me was pocket presence. Like the biggest takeaway for me, the one criticism I would have, and this goes back to college, is, man, he took so many sacks. Man, he held the ball too long. Man, he tried to escape out the back of the pocket, and you're really not athletic enough in this league to do that. I thought all those things looked good. He took one sack, climbed the pocket. I think it was for -3 yards. So it wasn't one of those devastating 9-yard sacks or whatever. So I thought he acquitted himself quite well. I mean, I thought he played really good football for the Cleveland Browns, being his first start. He was supported. They got 10 sacks on the other side of the ball, so they got some short fields. They got some of those things. But he didn't make glaring mistakes, and he made a couple of big-time throws. He made a big-time throw to Jerry Jeudy, and then Jerry Jeudy fumbled it because Jerry Jeudy had zero awareness of what was going on around him, carrying it like a loaf of bread, Reminds me of Alex Gibbs once we had a running back that fumbled, backup running back. We're putting it on, I think, Jacksonville. We're putting it on Jacksonville. D-Love.
Oh, Derek LaVille.
Yeah, D-Love. And he put the ball on the ground. We're watching film on Monday, and you just had to know how Alex talks. He goes, look at D-Love. Carrying the ball one hand like a loaf of bread, like he knows everything. Still, for whatever reason, still resonates with me.
Yeah.
Like Jerry Jeudy running down the sideline, carrying the ball like a loaf of bread, like he knows everything. So he got the ball popped out, turned the ball over.
Yeah.
But Shedeur made some big time plays. But this is not the Raiders you're playing. This is not the blind sister of the poor. This is San Francisco, who's making a playoff push in a division that's unbelievably tough. They're battle-tested. This is going to be a true test for Shedeur, and he played really well against the Raiders. We'll see if he can maintain that level of play against the Niners.
We've arrived at the part of the show that, if you've been going opposite us, congratulations. You're welcome.
You're making a lot of money.
You're making a lot of money because time for our picks. Which how do you want to spin this?
Well, listen, man. I made a classic move going oppo of you.
Yes, you did.
So I would have been 0-3. I bounced up to 1-2 last week. So I currently sit.
This is good.
I currently sit at 14-22.
Oof.
You are crushing me right now.
Yeah, right.
Crushing me right now with your incredible season that you're having. You're at 16-20.
Oh, 2 games ahead.
2 games ahead. So here we go. I picked first this week.
This lead out a little bit.
I picked first this week. All right, I've got. I'm taking San Francisco over Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland's going to maintain this. San Francisco -5. I'll take the Niners. I'll give the points.
Okay.
Then I'm going Colts Texans. I like the Texans getting 4.5 points. I think that defense is for real. I think they shut down the running game, create a couple of turnovers. I think it's a tight game, but I'm going to take the Texans getting the 4.5. And then the Rams, As you like to say, they are a wagon.
Mm-hmm.
They are crushing people right now. Going to Carolina, there is nothing about Carolina that I believe right now. Like every time they get a chance to do something special, they take a dump in their helmets. I'm taking the Rams. I'm giving the 10.5.
All right, I'm going to go with Black Friday. I'm going to go with Philadelphia. I think they bounce back. Combination of the Eagles bouncing back, and I'm still not sold on Chicago. So give me Philadelphia minus the 6.5. I'm going to take the Chargers over the Raiders. We were talking to our pal Dan Orlovsky from ESPN on our radio show, and he said the Raiders the last couple of weeks might be some of the worst.
The worst two weeks of tape he's ever watched. I mean, they're that bad. Now they did fire Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Greg Olson has taken over as the play caller. Not the Greg Olson from Fox Television, but the Greg Olson, the coach.
Right.
Which, I know one thing about Greg. He'll simplify. They'll run the ball better. Like he'll do some of those things that I think are a little bit more apropos to NFL football as opposed to Chip Kelly's offense. I expect to bounce back. I think that's a mistake on your part.
All right.
I'm glad you made it.
Chargers have some. This is a very important game for them, so I'll lay the 8.5 with the Chargers, and then I'm going to take Monday Night Football. I'm going to take the Giants. Not necessarily to win, but I'm going to take the 7.5 points at New England. I just keep waiting for New England, and they kind of
they lost the whole left side of their offensive line. Both those rookies, Wilson and Campbell.
Yep.
I think it's Wilson. Both those rookies are out with injury. I don't know how long. I don't think it's for the rest of the season, but it's going to be some significant time out. And that's a big loss, obviously.
And the Giants, despite their record, have been playing hard. They played hard last week against Detroit and had Detroit on the ropes. So I think they show well again. I'll take the Giants plus the 7.5 in Foxborough.
All right. For everybody involved in the Stinkin Truth podcast, thank you so much. Hey, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Thank you so much for making us a part of your week, and every week this season, man. It's just been an honor to serve you guys and to watch this podcast grow. So thank you. For Mike, I am Mark. Happy Thanksgiving. We appreciate all of you.